Right now on Denver 7 News, President Biden taking steps to protect abortion access in response to the U.S. Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, what he's now calling on Americans to do. The first day of school is coming up fast, the deals teachers and students should know about before the back-to-school shopping rush. And a heat wave expected across the Mile High City and other parts of the state. From tubing to swimming to staying indoors, what you can do to stay cool while keeping yourself and your family safe.
Good morning and welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Saturday. We want to start by taking a look outside across the Front Range. We're waking up to temperatures already in the low 80s here in Denver, and a heat advisory is set to take effect in the next hour, lasting until 8 p.m. for the metro area up across the plains, as triple-digit temperatures are expected this afternoon. 84 right now, winds sustained from the west-southwest into the mountains. A really beautiful morning, so lush and green after days of rain that we've experienced with more of that monsoon moisture out to the west. Today, though, will be drier. As mentioned, that heat advisory will take effect. Also, an air quality warning will be in place for the Denver metro area up north to the border until at least 4 o'clock this afternoon. Limit time outdoors if you suffer from any respiratory issues. Stay cool today. Right now, we're in the low 80s from Littleton down through Highlands Ranch up into Broomfield and Lakewood, so we're already heating up quickly, and you can see we'll top out in the upper 90s to near 100 this afternoon. So with that triple-digit heat that we're expecting, we have some tips on how to stay safe. Our Christian Lopez is out at Clear Creek with more on water safety.
After this week's tragic drownings in this area, officials are urging you to take all necessary precautions to make sure that you stay safe if you do head out to the water this weekend. Just recently, 2 people died in separate tubing accidents in the Clear Creek area. Jeffco officials are reminding everyone to only tube in designated areas. In Clear Creek, there are flags posted around showing you how fast that current is moving. So they're asking you to pay attention to these flags, which indicate the level of danger in the creek and the precautions that should be taken. It is important, and we hear it all the time, but make sure that you wear a life jacket and a helmet. We spoke to a kayaker who has seen people acting unsafely in the water, and she wishes that they would take it more seriously.
No one goes on the river thinking, this is my last day here, but it very much happens. And it very much can be avoided. When we go on the river, we're taking a certain amount of personal responsibility for ourselves and our actions.
So far this year in Colorado, there have been 23 drownings. Back in 2020, the state saw a record 34 drownings. If you do plan on heading out to cool off this weekend, make sure that you do all that's necessary to keep yourself and those around you safe. Reporting in Golden, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Christian, thank you. Well, if you're opting to stay indoors instead, Xcel Energy has tips for keeping your home cool and your energy bill low. Keep those blinds and curtains closed to keep the heat out. Make sure any exterior doors are closed to keep air conditioning inside. Run ceiling fans counterclockwise. They use less energy than AC and can help keep your rooms cool. Finally, get your AC coils cleaned to improve efficiency and to cut down on energy costs.
We are not the only ones under a major heat wave today. More than 50 million people across the southeast are expected to see higher than usual temperatures. That includes Houston, Austin, San Antonio. Those areas will see highs in the upper 90s and over 100 degrees in some cases. So authorities always remind people, check in on friends and relatives, especially elderly ones, when the heat gets this excessive.
Poudre Wilderness volunteers need help working on the trails. Last summer, nearly every trail in Poudre Canyon was reopened. That's because paid crews and volunteers worked together to improve the area. This weekend, volunteers will be working on the most popular trail in the canyon, the Grey Rock Trail. You can learn more and sign up to help on the Poudre Wilderness Volunteers website. There's another public work weekend in August.
We are now less than 1 week away from a major traffic switch along the Central 70 project. Right now, both directions of traffic are using the westbound tunnel between Brighton and Colorado Boulevards. Well, next Friday night, all traffic will be detoured while crews realign the interstate. And when Central 70 reopens the following Monday, eastbound traffic will use the new tunnel. It has taken nearly 4 years to get to this point. Well, Denver's e-bike voucher program resumes on Monday. Up to 2,000 rebates will be available. People can save up to $1,700 at a qualifying shop. And according to the Denver Business Journal, Denver will host the world's first national e-bike trade show in 2023.
5 cities are suing the state of Colorado and Governor Polis over a new law that's set to kick in next month. They argue that the law, which was passed by the state legislature this year, will put the future of Colorado City's authority and finances in jeopardy. Here's Denver 7 political reporter Megan Lopez.
In communities across Colorado, the sounds of construction are everywhere. It's not just new apartments or homes being built, but also new schools. Between inflation and supply chain disruptions, the cost of construction isn't cheap. So this year, state legislators passed a new law to limit some taxes.
We just feel like it's appropriate for the betterment of the entire state.
House Bill 1024 is set to go in effect in August. It says home rule cities cannot charge a sales and use tax on school construction materials.
And we really felt like this was urgent because Colorado faces a huge backlog in school construction around the state.
And supporters say cities shouldn't be trying to make money from building schools. Of Colorado's 272 municipalities, 104 are home rule.
69 of them self-collect their sales taxes. Home rule municipalities that self-collect find that they are collecting more of the taxes that are due than if the state does it.
Of those, 5 have a sales tax on school construction materials: Denver, Boulder, Commerce City, Pueblo, and Westminster. Those cities are now suing the state over this new law.
This challenge to an unconstitutional piece of legislation adopted by the General Assembly and signed by the governor is a great test of that home rule authority.
It's really not a question of the money.
Commerce City manager Roger Tinklenberg says this will undermine the concept of home rule, which gives cities the right to self-govern on matters of local concern.
It's the principle of home rule and guarding that principle that's written into the Constitution.
Under this new law, Commerce City stands to lose around $600,000 a year, money it puts right back into the community.
It can range from upgrading playground, ball fields, upgrading a gymnasium, that type of thing, where there's beneficial use to both the community and the school district students.
That's great, but most municipalities are not doing that. And so what happens is the state ends up overpaying, using tax money to pay taxes.
The state says this should be under its purview. Cities say this is a slippery slope. Ultimately, though, a court will decide who has the final say over these taxes. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
So you just heard there about what Commerce City stands to lose. Denver could see $2 to $3 million in losses annually. Meanwhile, Pueblo could see $3 to $4 million in lost tax revenue. The cities have asked for an expedited ruling on this matter since the law is set to kick in on August 10th. Well, somehow it is already time for families to start thinking about back to school.
Can you believe it? Well, the first bell is less than a month away for some districts. The first metro district back this year will be Douglas County Schools on August 8th. Aurora and Adams 14, they start the next day. 27J and Greeley Evans also start that second week of August. Then our largest districts, Jeffco and Denver, start later in the month. And with that, it is now time to start thinking about back-to-school shopping for students and teachers. And now, through August 3rd, college students can save up to 20% through Target Circle Rewards. And then starting next week, teachers can get a 15% discount on supplies through Target Circle. That deal lasts through September, and all you need is a valid ID.
And when you are back to school shopping, experts say don't blow your entire budget right away. Kids grow fast and their taste in clothes, well, that changes fast too. So buy some basic items now, then wait for deeper discounts after most schools start. As for supplies, check out the back to school section if you're a Sam's Club or Costco member.
Especially if you have multiple kids who need lots of notebooks, lots of folders, pens, you could buy those items wholesale and split them up amongst your kids.
Walmart and Target also have some dollar items. If you're looking to chow down, a Mole Festival is happening today in Denver as part of the 10th annual Frida Kahlo Festival, an event to celebrate her life and her fight for social justice.
So she wasn't just a painter, she was also a revolutionary. She did a lot of work to fight for workers' rights, to fight for indigenous rights. So she was very multifaceted in that way.
And then the Mole Festival is going to feature over 30 different types of moles from different community and professional chefs. So a good mix of people from here in Westwood and also businesses in this community as well.
Learn some history, have some good eats. The Mole Festival will include Frida's own family mole recipe. There will also be music, vendors, and cultural performances. The festivals are today in Denver's Westwood neighborhood near Morrison and Alameda from 2 to 8. One Colorado woman lending a helping hand so families who can't afford it can keep their four-legged friends. How this week's Denver 7 Everyday Hero has kept the Denver Pet Pantry going through the pandemic. Plus,
I'm John Mattery's how to find the best savings on Amazon Prime Day, plus some great deals in Walmart and other stores near you. That story coming up.